Hello, welcome back to the channel. We are halfway through October already. Can you believe that? And there's still so much growing on the vegetable garden. I'm sure that this time last year it was pretty much done on here. Temperatures are actually holding quite mild overnight at the moment, which means things are lingering on in the garden. And I'm saying lingering makes it sound like a bad thing, a negative, but it's not. It's absolutely brilliant to see all of the flowers and so many crops continuing to grow and improve along the garden, even so late into the season. But that said, there are plenty of jobs that I need to start getting done, and October is the month to start some of these things. And I'm starting with this pumpkin archway. This variety is called Buttercup. I have two of these. This one's really light. They're a little bit gnarly looking, aren't they, when you look at them? A few little lumps and bumps on them. No idea what this variety tastes like, but I'm guessing we're going to find out. Good old favourite here on this archway is the chicky curry. I've got a couple of those, and I think harvesting this is probably one of the things I'm most sad about, because I've really enjoyed seeing the colour on this archway this year. But there's always next year, always next year. These are such pretty pumpkins, and tasty too. I do have one more here, and it actually isn't really ripe enough to store, but hopefully it'll be ripe enough to eat. But that one will go first because the stem has not browned off yet. I really wasn't sure about having pumpkins on these archways this year because they're only little narrow tiny archways, but I think it's worked out quite well. 6 little pumpkins from one little archway. Can't complain. Now another crop that I have are these mashed potato squashes here, and these are all doing really well around the plot. I have so many of them. Really pleased with how many mashed potato squash we got. I've already taken 2 off that plant as well, so not a bad return for a single plant. How can a plant that big have such a small root on it? Now while I'm up this end of the garden, might as well finish the courgette plant, also known as the marrow plant. I have been terrible for not harvesting these in time this year. So we've got a nice crop of marrows. It's honestly just a little bit ridiculous. Oh no. Oh, avalanche. I've lost my marrows. It's probably on a par with losing my marbles. But I lost those a while ago. Stay. You know, when the plants get this untidy, it actually gets to be quite a relief to be able to clear them away. I'd rather look at a bare bed, the one with dead looking plants in it. Now, if you've been following on So Chatty recently, you'll know that I keep promising to sort out this grapevine because it needs tying in. Well, today's the day. I've had Duncan here helping me. He has put in this framework for the grapevine. It is not the strongest, but we won't mention how much it's wobbling. We'll have to do something about that at some point. We've got wood across the top because we were going to put a wire across the top, but it felt like that would sag too much. So all I need to do now that he's done this is sort out which vines are going across the top. And actually this one was a spare vine that I kept in case the one that I was leaving to grow broke. So that hopefully is going to get cut off shortly. And this is the vine, or the split of the vine, that I want to use. And I want to fasten this one this way and fasten this one down the other way there. I did want to use tree ties for this job, but unfortunately the tree ties that I had are too big to get anywhere near wrapping this onto this piece of wood. So what I've got instead are some lengths of paracord that I've cut, and it's just a really simple process. I'm just going to very loosely tie them on here, and I'll be able to swap these for bigger lengths or a tree tie in the future when the branches have grown a bit thicker. I'm a little bit torn about this actually, because this vine here, or this stem of the vine, looks a lot nicer than the one that I'm supposed to be using. And I'm a little bit like, do I just use this one? But no, I'm going to stick with it. It's just some tatty looking leaves. The leaves will be gone soon. So stick with the plan, stick with the plan. So I'm going to fasten it up here. And it was really important for me to get this done sooner rather than later, because obviously once these have died back for winter, this young vine shoot will go more woody and therefore wouldn't be as pliable as it is now to get it to go on this framework. That should do it. And now both of those are fastened in. All I need to do is be brave and cut this vine that's not needed. And hopefully now I have the start of a proper grapevine to come. We can go all the way around the fruit cage if we really need to. So we'll just see how it grows next year. While I'm just in the fruit cage, there is one thing that I won't be sowing next year, and that is these, which is the Cape gooseberries. They're growing up in the polytunnel, they're growing all over the fruit cage, so it's clear to me that they're going to self-seed all over the garden. And the irony of that is that these are one of the tricky things to get germinated in spring. We have so much trouble getting these little blighty seeds to do anything for us. So the fact that they will self-seed all over the garden is a bit of a smack in the teeth for all the care we keep trying to give them. So I'm not sowing them next year. I'm going to rely on the fact that there will be some coming back in the garden at some point, and they will no doubt be stronger plants anyway. I've got one plant here. This here is another plant. That all belongs to yet another Cape gooseberry that's self-seeded. Before I leave the fruit cage, I can't not mention this cosmos, can I? Every time I walk onto the vegetable garden, I'm greeted by it at the moment, and I have to steel myself to remember that it is mid-October and this is still going strong. I'm really hoping that it can get right up until the end of the month, because it's joy, pure joy. But leaving that behind, I do have another job to do, and this is one that's really quite exciting. And this is definitely another job for October, and that is to pick some of the drying beans. This variety here are my Belotti beans, and the reason I need to get them picked today is it's Friday. We have a lot of rain forecast, heavy rain forecast over the weekend. So these pods are nice and dry at the moment, but obviously they're going to get wet again over the weekend. So I don't want them to get wet. I don't want to risk them going mouldy. So I'm going to crack on and get as many picked as I can now. Now they're not all going to be ready for picking, but these ones absolutely are. You can hear just how dry these are. If I put them by my microphone, you can hear they sound like paper. So I'm going to get them picked. I will get them all shelled when I get in the house, and these will be stored to be put into stews and soups and things. What I will do first is put them in the freezer for a couple of days, so just in case there's any bugs or anything on them. Obviously, even though the plan is to eat the majority of these, they will also form my seeds for next year. If I just split this open, there you go. Perfect Belotti beans. And a pussycat underneath my feet. Oh. It cuddles. Hello. Oh, spooked himself. Whilst I like Belotti beans, they're not my favourite dried bean. That's actually a Greek gigante. I still can't believe, I'm so cross with myself. I actually forgot to sow Greek gigantes this year, so I don't have any. I'm very sad about that. That's definitely something I will not be making the mistake of doing next year. We had rats finding the borlotti beans on the plot last year, and they ate the majority of them. So it's quite nice to see that for whatever reason, we don't seem to have a rat problem. I shouldn't have said that out loud. We don't seem to have a problem at the moment on the plot. Just tempted fate now, just tempted fate. Well, I don't think I can complain with this return. I got 2 big bags full of borlotti beans, absolutely plenty there to be putting in the soups and the stews. I'm really pleased with that, and there's still some more that could dry on this plant if they have time to do that, but otherwise I think I've got enough anyway. The French beans on the other side of this A-frame, they don't seem to be getting to the stage of drying yet. I'm still giving them a bit of time. As I said, there's no frost forecast for the next couple of weeks, so hopefully some of these will dry. Obviously there was never an intention to have these as drying beans, but with my mother-in-law being in hospital, we just missed the window of those when they were due to harvest. But they're not the only drying beans that we've got on the garden, and these ones I am really excited about, because these ones here are the yin yang beans, and these are absolutely beautiful beans, and some of these do look like they have dried now. In fact, this one definitely has. So I'm going to be harvesting any that are dry on here just to ensure that I've at least got my own safe seed for next year. But I'm hoping to have a crop of these to add to stews and things as well. If you're not familiar with yin yang beans, I'll just show you these. Look at them. Isn't that the most beautiful bean? I mean, you couldn't draw anything any prettier than that, could you? It just doesn't look real. Nature is amazing. I don't actually think that I have a lot of these to harvest yet, but I'd be devastated if I did end up with rodents coming in and taking these. So it's well worth taking off the ones that are ready to be harvested now, just to be sure that I don't miss those ones. Oh, I'm really struggling to get up at the moment, and it is all completely self-inflicted. I'll carry on picking these and I'll show you a little video of what it is I got up to that's left me a little bit hobbly and a bit sore in the top of my legs. Come this way next. It's got to be 3 years since I've done this. I absolutely loved canicrossing with Dexter and running in general, marathon, ultra marathon, but mainly my heart was in canicross. But I hadn't ran for 3 years due to an Achilles injury. It's honestly hilarious how sore I've been this week after only running 4 miles on Sunday. And I did say in that little bit of video that it was 3 years since I've been running, and it isn't. It's actually 2 years and 5 months since I went running. So I might have over-exaggerated a little bit, but I enjoyed it, and I can't wait for my legs to be better again so that I can do it all again, because that's how I roll. Whilst I'm down this end of the garden, you might remember that a couple of months ago I sowed some peas. The variety was called Terrain, which were lauded as being a late harvesting pea that would harvest right into November and beyond, depending on how severe the first frosts were. Well, let's see how they're getting on. It's marvellous. I mean, look at that. What an amazing crop we're going to get from them. Yeah, I don't have a single one. That was a pointless exercise. And before I do any more clearing away, which is probably going to have to be tomorrow now because it is going dark so early, we are losing the light. And, you know, after next weekend, gosh, we're not going to have much daylight hours at all, are we? I thought I'd pop into the polytunnel, though, to show you how things are doing with the things that I've been trying to germinate in here. You can see the radishes are doing really well here. And if I just pop along here, you can just see these are the spring onions just starting to come up. There's a few rows of those. If I move along here, you can see the mustards have germinated here quite well. And if I just pop the cover up here, you can see, if I zoom right in, that there are a few carrots just starting to pop up. I don't know if I'll be able to keep those alive over winter. I do have fleece for them, but not sure. But anyway, they are growing. If you look behind me, you can see that the sweet potato vines are starting to yellow a little bit. There's just the slightest hint that they are starting to die back, which means it can't be long before they are due to harvest. I've been seeing footage of people harvesting theirs, and there's some huge sweet potatoes out there, but I don't think mine are going to be them. I don't know why, I just feel like it's going to be all foliage and no tubers. Definitely set myself up for disappointment as far as sweet potatoes is concerned, and therefore anything else will be an absolute bonus. I will catch up with you again in the morning, but before I go in, I need to harvest one more celeriac because the family, especially me, enjoyed the celeriac so much the other day. And we're going to try some celeriac fries later. So I said I would bring another one in, and this one is an absolute monster. It really is. I'm so pleased with this one. Just take some of these lower leaves off so that you can see it better. Oh, it's enormous, absolutely enormous. I thought the last one was big, but look at the size of that. It really is as big as my head. Had quite a few comments asking me which variety this is, and this variety is called Asterix. Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, I'm going in now for this evening. I'll catch you back on the plot in the morning. I'm starting another day on the garden, much like I started this video, walking back underneath this archway, climbing over those mashed potato squash that are behind me. So I think what I'm going to do today is harvest those as well, and then I'm going to get them all cured in the greenhouse for a few days and, well, start eating them, obviously. I'm really looking forward to being able to walk underneath this archway again without clambering over foliage. These are coming off so easily. Oh, in fact, that one's already off. So they're definitely ready to be harvested. Now, I said on So Chatty last week that I thought that we might have upwards of 30 mashed potato squashes this year. So we're going to have to do a count shortly. This plant here has been super prolific. Oh. I've spotted 3 more here, although that one is only tiny. Wow! It turns out I wasn't exaggerating after all, because I've just counted 32 here, plus another little extra one, and I don't know how many I harvested yesterday. They're in the house now. Unbelievable. It's a good job we like these mashed potato squashes. And just like the potatoes last week, I totally underestimated the size of the tray I would need in order to gather them up for storage. It is the season of compostables. The bins are going to be very full very quickly with all of this pumpkin and squash foliage. Wow, the size of this plant. I don't know why this one did so well, but no wonder this had the majority of the mashed potato squashes on it. That's a huge plant for a single plant. And And another job that is on the list definitely for October will be the asparagus ferns. You can see that they are starting to die back now. I would have done them last month had they died back enough to do that, but they hadn't. But definitely on the way, so don't forget, we're going to cut those down and mulch them in the next few weeks, hopefully before we have the first big frost. Well, I know we had a light frost at the end of September, but no one was expecting that, so no one was prepared for it. Blimey. That looks very, very bare now underneath the archway, doesn't it? And you can see all of the weeds that foliage has been hiding. Oh, I mean, look at the size of that thistle. Oh dear. Now, what I thought I would take as well is this singular butternut squash that's hiding under here, because it's the only one on this vine and it has cured at the top of the vine. So it's not going to grow anymore. It's absolutely tiny when you compare it to what my sister's been growing. But I have successfully grown a butternut squash, a baby butternut squash, but that is the first one that I have properly grown. So I'm really excited about that. Now there's another couple of little ones over this side. These have not gone completely brown on the stem yet. This one is going, but I thought if these cure a bit more, then they will store a bit better, won't they? Not that I need anything to store when they're so small. So I'm thinking of just leaving those for now. But what I'm not going to leave are these ones here. I mean, oh look, the entire plant is no longer in the ground anyway. So they were definitely not doing anything, were they? And this variety is just in a packet called High Sugar. And I didn't realise at the time, but I assumed that these were called High Sugar. That was the actual name of the variety, but apparently it isn't. It's actually just a packet of seed that contains 4 different varieties of what they class as higher sugar pumpkins. So I don't know the actual variety that these are. But they are definitely cured and I'm going to give them a go. And the same can be said for this one behind me. I've just gone to look at it and it is already completely broken off the stem, completely cured, died off and broken off. That's a beautiful looking pumpkin. Again, I don't actually know the variety because this is another one that was in the high sugar pack. Another thing that you can start doing now is saving seeds as well in October. And I mean, these are the calendula, and I mean, I'll never have to sow seeds for these again. Now, whilst I'm not saving calendula seeds around the garden because they are prolific self-seeders, I do want to save some of these straw flower seeds because I love the straw flowers. And again, I quite like to see more of these growing around the garden. And you're waiting for them to look like this, where they've gone all fluffy, because this is where the seeds are hiding underneath that fluff in the flower. I'm just going to literally tip the flower head into the envelope, and what I intend to do is mark these for the colours next year so that I know that I'm planting various colours next to each other. I don't want to get just block of one colour everywhere. And this is an excellent way of saving yourself money because seeds are expensive. They really are expensive. So these are orange straw flowers. So now I know that that's the colour I'll be sowing. My favourite colours are the pinks, so I want more of the pink seeds in the garden than any other colour seed, which is probably why I'm quite keen to save the colours so that I just know. Because what happens is I sow them in big cells and then I just give them away, and then I get devastated when someone else sends me a picture and they've got mainly pink flowers in the garden and I've got mainly yellow, and I don't like yellow flowers. I don't mind the orange ones, they're quite a vibrant orange, but I don't want yellow. I want the pinks and the whites and the reds. And another bit of seed saving I've been trying to do are these leeks. These were the Northern Light leeks. And if you remember, these have been here with flower heads on since the middle of summer. It was kind of June, July time when these were flowering. And I've covered them up in the hope that I can securely save the seeds that come from them. And yet they've still not opened up. You can see there's just a few starting at the bottom here now, but I didn't realise this was going to take quite so long. I really do hope that I get a good return on those seeds because I have promised them to so many different gardeners. That's it for this week on the vegetable garden. In So Chatty on Tuesday, we will be discussing all things garlic, because it is time for people to start considering planting their garlic. Are you growing soft neck, hard neck, elephant garlic? Do you not grow garlic? If not, why not? We'll catch you then. Look after yourselves. Bye.